Well, I'm sorry that I don't have John with me, but let me bump this camera up a little bit. There we are. Nope. There we go. I'm sorry I don't have John with me, but it seems kind of weird doing Saturday by myself, and I got nobody around here that builds like John did. So working on this jet airplane. This is the final piece to make. And I'm shaping a top block. I did mold the nose, but it didn't fit quite right. So the easiest way to go about this is to do a block and hollow it. Now it started out, let me see, 173 grams, 4 inches wide. It's 4.5 pound wood. So it was a good piece of wood. 173. Let me see what the heck that works out to be. Calculator was 173 divided by 28.33. So the top block started out 6 ounces. I need to get that down to 3/4 of an ounce. Good morning, Gary. I'll talk about shaping this morning. How I get how do you say it? It's not uniform, it's symmetrical shape is I take a pencil and lightly draw a pencil line right down the center on the top, and then you look down this thing and you can see the highs and lows. Always shape with 80 grit and 36 to 80 grit sandpaper. That's what you want to shape with, and you want to drag this thing until that line, till the top and bottom shadow meets that line. Now I sanded it with a short block to start with, but we're trying to get this thing straightened out, so I'm using a long bar now to fine tune it. And I also need to cut a cockpit in this thing, and that's where the rub gets, because this is all open inside here. Let's switch camera views. This is all open inside here, so if you cut a cockpit floor into that, the pilot would be sitting on top of the engine. So we're going to make the instrument panel start. I drew a line in here. We're going to make the instrument panel start behind the engine, and the hole for the cockpit right here. So everything, it's all behind. So what I had thought about doing is shaping this to have a lip. It's impossible to draw and hard to explain. This only can be done with sandpaper in 3D, but it's going to come up, and just before the instrument panel, it'll raise up like I did on the Monado. And that was a difficult feature to do. Sanding with that long bar sure helped out the lump there. So it's going to be another boring video. But nobody else is doing it, so that helps a lot. That helps a lot. So what I'm doing here is I got this little 3 view of a USA 1 or plan and kind of taking the building cues off of that. He used a 3/4 inch block or a 1-inch block, and that's what I used here, a 1-inch block. Love or hate him, the guy is an artist. But I need to get this thing shaped on the outside before hey Yogi, shaped on the outside before I can hollow the inside. Got another roll of sandpaper yesterday, 400 grit, so that'll last me another 6 months anyway. I need to buy 180 and 320. It's a never-ending deal. Another feature I'm going to put on this, it's going to have 2 side engines, if that makes sense. 2 side scoops. And what I thought I'd do is I'd get you guys input on this. We've got a template we're going to make here. Simulated jet engines. Let's see. And it goes up in the back. Nope, got to be longer than that. It's got to go past the flaps. It has to be bigger than this. So I can't use this as a template. Anyway, these scoops that I'm going to design are going to go over the top of the wing and simulate jet intake and jet exhaust. I measured this morning. I have 2 5/8 here, and I have 4 inches between my flaps. So 2 5/8. Let me get my calculator here. Calculator. I don't want that. 2 clear. 4 inches minus 2 5/8. 1 3/8. Divide that by 2. No, wait a minute. Take off a 16th. Take off an 1/8. So that's 1. I would take off. See, take off an 1/8 minus 1/8. 1 1/4. Divide by 2. Those simulated scoops on the side will be 5/8 of an inch wide, thick, made out of 16ths. For weight. That should look good. Well, what do we got here? Still got a lump right here. Right there. Right there. Got our first snow. It's snowing out today. Just not much, just a little. Of course, if you ask me, any is too much. Yeah, we're getting closer. Got a flat right here, though. You want to see how I shaped this from start to finish? You can go to the Hangout last night. I did it on the Hangout. looks pretty good. Still got a little hoop right here. Why? I guess I need to get a little piece to go in here and get that glued in. Let me get some 180, which is right here. $320, 180. We'll hand sand this a little bit. Morning, Roy. Okie dokie. Let's get a canopy. This is the canopy mounting area. There we go. So now I need to drop this somehow. Need to get my round bar. Need some sanding implements. I just don't know. Don't know what's going to be the best. Actually, it needs to go back some more. So that's where the canopy is going to mount. That means I would have to lower all this. So no, I don't want to do that. I want to just come up to that line. Symmetry, that's important. That's no good. No good because this ain't wide enough. Look at the circle template. which I don't see. Where the hell did it go? Here. The circle template. This is higher over here. Yeah, gotta drop that down. Yep. Got it. It ain't much, but it's there. So we need to get that right there. It's no good. Maybe I should taper that back too. Let's see, we're going. Okay. Pretty close. Pretty close. Let's try the 180 and clean it up and see what it looks like. Everybody got an idea what I'm doing? Standing the cockpit into the wood. I think I am going to taper it back from here. I'm going to lower that whole back half. It's going to take a lot of sanding. but I'm going to taper this back from here to the back in half. So I'll lower that line in half. That'll take some work. But we got time. We got plenty of time. Whittle this 6-ounce block down to 1/2 ounce. Yeah, now you can't see what I'm doing. Good morning, Steve. I can't read that all the way across the room. Shit. No, I got quite a few, 6 different sizes of SIG canopies. This is a 10. I got 11s and 12s and 8s and 9s. I got all kind of shit. So thinking. Need to lower that right there too. Well, we'll do an hour, and that way, and then I can watch TV. I'll see what I get done off camera. Come back. I think we might need a bigger one than this 10. I got all the stuff to make canopies. It just why do more work than I have to? Was this doing this detail here absolutely necessary? No, but it just makes it more interesting when you look at it than just a canopy slapped on top of a 2x4. A little more contour to the shape of the spinner too by dropping that. Still up too high over here. Okay, so here we have a dashboard, but it's not centered right. Why is that? So this needs to get lifted up some. There we go. Better. Are you guys building while you're watching? I hope. You know, I could put a second lump in there. Actually, what the hell am I gonna do here? Actually, I need to move that back to that line. If I move it back to the line, then I can cut it open and drop it all the way down to the top of the motor mount floor. Use that as the cockpit floor. What does it say here? My building days are over. I enjoy. Oh, thanks. Sorry to hear that your building days are over. I need to move this an inch back. Because what I'm going to do is use the top of the crutch as the motor mount floor, or the top of the crutch as the canopy floor. So in order to make that happen, if I do it here, then I can't get that neat little lip on it, so I need to move that back. So I can cut it. If anybody ever saw my Monado in person, you can tell, you can see, and you can see it on the video. Go back and look at the Monado video, how I sanded all that crazy shit in there. Takes a little bit of thought because you're doing everything in reverse. So if I do that, and the canopy's there, yep, it's exactly right. It's got to go back. Got to go back to here. What I've done is I've sanded it in to the front of the canopy, and that's no. I want this lip inside the canopy. Put the canopy there. He's way too far forward. I don't have a pilot for him. Well, maybe. Maybe I have a pilot. No. No. Somewhere around here, I got a pilot flipping the bird, but he's kind of goofy. I guess I could cut his arm off. I got to go out in the garage and get 3 birdhouses. Small place these days, not getting any younger. Work on things that go to the trash when I to the other adventure. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen to all my stuff. Okay. So I move it back. To there. God, I hate if I do this and I screw up, it's ruined. And this is a good piece of wood. Think about this. We got another canopy. If that's a 10. This is an 11. We got 2 10s. What did he use? A Taurus canopy, whatever the hell that is. And it goes back to the leading edge. So he's got it way up on there. No, I think we'll leave it as is. If I use an 11-inch canopy, cut down. That puts the pilot in the high point. Make it a little wide. It'll drop down. Yeah, I better leave it right where it's at because I don't want to ruin that block. This block is a $60 block at Balsa US or at National Balsa. I went on National Balsa last night and ordered some wood because they got Black Friday sale. I'll give you a review on it when I get it. And I couldn't order. I ordered 20 pieces of wood. So usually the orders I do are way bigger than that, but can't afford it. We'll see how many pieces are good out of the 20. That's what I can do. I can leave this line here and cut it right there and sink it, and that way it'd have a top of the instrument panel up here. Yeah, that'll. Man, I'm glad I didn't move it. That'll look more realistic than what I got on the other airplane. Well, this is what I got planned for my Saturday. Crappy weather, I ain't going outside. Of course, during the winter, I don't go outside much anyway, unless I have to. I hate shitty weather. And then we're going to angle this back. I think that'll look good. He didn't do that on his USA 1, but we're going to do it on ours. Three-quarter tapered. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're not going to stay on much longer. I only do hour sprints because the metrics falls off as people come and go. Metrics are good for an hour. And after an hour, it kind of goes to crap. One thing on the Hangouts are now 2 hours long. When it comes to the end of 2 hours and I say I'm going to shut it off, please let me get the program shut off. And then you can talk all night long. Shit. Hangouts start at 7 Central and end at 9 Central. I know Rusty and Charles used to run them until all hours of the morning. I'm not doing that. I turn it over to somebody I know that knows how to run the thing. And like I say, you can talk all night long. I might just run them once a week instead of twice. I would love to say a wife or a life. Well, I got both. I think I'm going to fiberglass this before I put the canopy on. So that means the airplane's going to have to be together. Before I mount the canopy, which is not a big deal. This is a fantasy jet. It's a fantasy jet style. Looks pretty beefy back here. We need to do something. Well, I sure am glad I used Z-epoxy as the epoxy to glue them doublers with. That transition right there, oh, you can't see it. This transition right here, usually it's hard and you can feel it, but using Z-epoxy to laminate that wood together, that's perfect. You can't feel it. So that means you will have less of an opportunity in the heat to sink and show that line on the nose. So I learned that on this airplane. That's what it is. We'll go that way and that way. Gonna take a lot of work. Gonna take a lot of work. Well, you guys got any questions about the stuff I do on this channel? I mean, it's tough to talk to yourself. I wish John was still around. Well, I hear some commotion in the front yard. Looks like I'm gonna have to go down and straighten it out. Well, nothing going on, so please like, subscribe, and share. I'll be back later on this afternoon, maybe. And we'll see you later. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.